Okay, so where we left off was that we had stopped doing foster care, and we decided to go through a company called AFS. It's an exchange program. Again, people don't get paid to do exchange post programs. You feed them, and you put a roof over their head, and they supply themselves with food and supplies and stuff like that. But you are responsible to make sure they're fed and they have a safe place to live. So we had our background check done. Our background check, of course, is coming great. Our credit scores are good. We own our home. We have never been in trouble. We don't do drugs. We've never done drugs. Our background check comes back clean enough for us to take care of disabled, abused children for the state of Alabama. So, pretty clean. And they denied us. After I worked with this new coordinator, and she was so excited because I was so excited about the student that they needed a home. And so they called me and left me a message, and sent me an email about our application, and then I'd give them a call back if I have any questions. Read the email, it says we've been rejected, and they couldn't discuss what database, where they got the information, but that we were disqualified from hosting. So, of course, immediately called the person I was talking to about the placement and said, what is going on? And she was like, I don't know. She's like, I can see why it was denied, but I can't tell you. Like, why can't you tell me? She's like, oh, they said we can't. I'm like, I think I have a right to know why I'm being denied hosting an exchange student when I can take care of disabled, abused children. Multiple disabled, abused children in the state of Alabama. And we're not talking about just ADHD kids. We're talking about, I had a kid with, seizures and other disorders, like high maintenance medical needs. And she's like, well, I really can't go into it. And she's like, and honestly, she's like, I'm looking at the application. I don't understand why. She's like, I see the reason, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Usually you have to do something bad to get denied, like really bad. And she's like, because we're so desperate for those families. And so I talked to a friend of mine who works as a coordinator for another agency. And she's like, I can tell you why. She said, you've probably been blackballed because of your last student. And I was like, are you kidding me? And she goes, no. She goes, if you don't go back to the same agency, they will say, don't let these people host for you again, for you. And they won't give a reason. They'll just say, not approved. Like, you shouldn't approve them. If we were to go back to the same agency, probably they would approve us. But because we went to a different agency and we didn't want to work with them again, we're now blackballed and no agency will take us as a host family. We've got a brand new bed. Well, pretty much brand new. I mean, it was used as a guest bed. Nobody really slept on it. I think maybe twice. But anyhow, brand new bed. We went out and got brand new comforter set over Black Friday. And we are like ready to roll. Like we were ready for our home visit on Sunday, this past Sunday, and everything was set to go. And so the message said, I have to email back with I called back, I got a voicemail, followed up with an email because I always do that because I used to be an administrative assistant. I always follow up with an email. I said, I'm just following up my voicemail. I would like to discuss further with you why exactly we were denied. Because I have an idea of why, and I don't think it's right. And I would like to know if you guys have an appeals process, what that is, what that looks like, what I need to do. And I got no phone call back that day. I mean, she called at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I called her back at 10 after doing some investigation work. And I sent the email right after that, and nothing on Thursday. So on Friday, I emailed her again, and I'm like, listen, not happy with the fact that in your voicemail you said to call you and you would call me back today. And that was yesterday. I called you, I left a voicemail. I sent you an email. And I don't feel like you're being professional. Like, I don't understand why you're avoiding having this discussion. I mean, we've done nothing wrong. And I addressed what I was told was a situation that could have come up. And so I very happily explained to her exactly what happened with our student. And that I wanted to appeal this decision because you guys have been around for so many years, like I think it's 75 years or something, and they know how to vet out their volunteers. But yeah, you're going to take the word of a company that let us down. And I said, I would like to appeal this. And so I need to know what your appeals are, what your appeal process is, and or I need you to re-review my information based on this factual stuff. And I said, because as an FYI, our first coordinator is one of my references for this. Our coordinator referred us for another company. What does that tell you? We were a great host family. Our agency that we do foster care through calls us all the time to do respite. We are obviously good with other people's children. Wasn't that bad on my own kids. They're doing pretty well right now. I mean, we've never done drugs. We have no criminal background. We have a good income. We own our home. I mean, there's no reason why we should get denied. Except that we had one student who was completely a jerk. For 4 months, we tried to work this out. And then finally to put a foot down and say, no, you're not going to keep putting us through this. It is okay when you are being verbally, emotionally, etc. abused in any way, even if it's by a student from another country. It is okay to say this is not okay. They agree when they come over here to be a part of your family, to be respectful. She wasn't following her contract. We were. 4 months we tried to make things work with the student. So I finally get a message back from her on Friday and says, well, I'm out of the office today. I will call you on Monday. I am recording this on Tuesday, December 4th. Haven't got a call. And it's now almost 3 o'clock in New York, where she's calling from. So she didn't call me on Monday. She hasn't called me on Tuesday. So I decided that, you know what? I need to warn people out there about what's really going on in the hosting foreign exchange student market. And it's obviously a market. If you cannot completely trust your coordinator, don't do it. Because you're going to get set up. And your agency is going to try to make you keep the child who is misbehaving. Unless that child does something absolutely illegal where they get arrested and they get deported, they're going to try to force you to keep that child in your home. No matter how badly the child's behaving. And it's not okay. It's not okay at all. And it is absolutely time that somebody speaks up for the host families who have been abused. Whether it's verbally, you should never be made to feel like you don't belong in your own home. Especially not by a guest. You should have the right to stand up for yourself, and you should not be able to be penalized by it. And these agencies should not be using another agency saying, don't use this family as the end of the road. That should be an opening to have a conversation with the family and ask them, is there anyone who can verify what you're saying to us? Because I've got 50 people who can verify it. People who we were talking to regularly trying to come up with some other way to get through to her. Got lots of people who can verify how hard we tried to make it work with the student and how cruel she was to us. So they haven't messaged me back. They haven't tried to resolve this. They're going to continue to stick to their guns and let some agency lie to them. So I've decided that we're going to just let everybody know what it's really like. You can have a great experience as a student. If you get a great coordinator who listens to you and tries to match you with somebody, not to get a paycheck, but for you and the student to have a good coordination experience, then do it. If for 1 second you feel like they're not giving you enough options for students, if for 1 second you feel like this person isn't listening to what you're looking for, if for 1 second you feel like this person you're talking to hasn't tried to get to know you at all, don't do it. And understand that if you get a bad student, you may be blackballed from ever hosting again. Even though you may be the best host family ever, you may love your students and still talk to the students you've had in the past for decades. You might get blackballed. You might be made to look like a bad person by the other agency. There's nothing you can do about it because the new agency won't let you appeal, apparently. Won't call you back, won't be professional. It's not worth it. They don't pay you to do this. You're volunteering your home, your food, your money, your time. You're volunteering it. So, I mean, you're volunteering and they're turning away volunteers. Maybe it speaks volumes to the fact that they aren't running a very good business. So my point is, think twice before you host an exchange student. Think twice before you use either of the companies I've mentioned. Do research on the companies that if you do decide you want to host an exchange student, do a lot of research. There's a lot of companies that are known. Ask your school what companies they've had come through before, what ones they had good students from, which ones they had problem students from. That's what we did. But keep in mind that if you end up with a bad student because you get pushed into one or you get made to think that a student isn't who they are, you probably never will host again. Because we're not going back to the original company. We're not. And that's all I have to say about that. But sorry, this was a 3-part thing. Sorry, this one's super long. But sometimes stuff has to be said. And, the fact that they won't call me back and they won't be professional and they won't allow us to appeal this decision. It's a final decision the second they decide they don't want to use you because some other company said you weren't very good. My 2 students stayed with us and their families would disagree greatly. Our foster children and our foster agency would disagree greatly. People that matter disagree. That's all that matters to me. You don't want us, we don't want you. It's cool. I'm sad that we're not going to host another exchange student, that we're not going to take them to Disney and go to New Orleans and go to Mardi Gras here in Mobile and do all these amazing fun things we have to do with them. That's their loss. Some student lost out on a home for the school year. Their only opportunity to study abroad. Because most of them do it their junior year. It's the only year they can go. So they're going to have students who don't get placed because they have so many volunteers. They're desperate, but they can turn away a good volunteer over an agency just being like, man, they gave up. We gave up for a reason. And I don't feel bad, and I would never change it. So, is what it is. So happy December. Hope you guys are having a great December. Sorry we're not really doing Vlogmas. There's a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, we have to repaint a wall because we got rid of our couch and we got recliners. But we're going to do a couple of videos pop up here and there to fill in some spaces. But thanks for watching. And again, if you know anybody who's doing a foreign exchange, please warn them to be careful. It's not what it used to be. And although we had 2 great experiences, that one experience has now changed our future for hosting. And we didn't do anything wrong because I didn't ask to be part Jewish. And I don't think I'm wrong to be not okay with somebody in my home who wishes the people that were related to me had died. Whether I ever knew them, whether I would ever know them, whether they're close relatives or far relatives, it shouldn't matter. I have friends that are Jewish. And that's what it is. There's no room for hate in this world. And the hate needs to stop. And if you're going to hate on me for something I have no control over, it is what it is. So have a great December. See y'all later. Bye.